So some call it transformation, others call it paradigm shift. And moving from an agrarian society, which was also ravaged by successive wars, and to become a leading modern industrialized economy within merely a few decades, perhaps you can consider within a generation. It is more apt that South Korea's, I use the word metamorphosis, is regarded as nothing short of a miracle. And so it is with the miracle on Han River that we all know. But even miracles are not free and come with a price, because rapid modernization can leave gaps, particularly between the rich and the poor, the haves and the have-nots, and comes with it the attendant inequality of opportunities. Perhaps this is where the early threads of relations between Malaysia and South Korea manifested. When Malaysia's FELDA program, for example, was visited by Korea's goodwill delegation back in 1961. And then there were two subsequent visits which followed suit, which turned out to be very productive. And that ties up Malaysia's journey into modernity together with South Korea's own rural modernization program. Now, social transformation takes longer than, of course, even building skyscrapers and tall buildings, even sophisticated structures. Hailing from feudal societies, concepts of autonomy, social activation, a so-called egalitarian ethos that were means of addressing social mobility in social areas and other, particularly rural outskirts, enabling the people to modernize their villages and homes and to build their communities. So subsumed under this principle, or we call it the principle of societal transformation, is the question of the state of integrity, inclusivity, and social justice. And these are indeed part of the 6 core values of Madani Malaysia, and the government's inclusion of sustainability, compassion, respect, and trust. I believe these values are not much different from the societal values of transformation that has been pursued by South Korea. As for innovation, it signifies a commitment to continuous improvement, improvisation, and embracing change. The miracle on the Hangang is also a story of development and investment into innovation. Today, South Korea ranks 6th among 132 countries in the 2022 Global Innovation Index. The index illustrates South Korea's thriving investment, domestic supply chain management, which is very crucial now, particularly for us, and of course, the R&D environment, especially in technology and automotive sectors. There could certainly be lessons here to be learned for Malaysia as we aspire to move up the value chain. Last year marked 40 years of Malaysia-South Korea partnership since the first implementation of the Look East policy, aimed at encouraging technology and knowledge transfers. Beyond exchanges of primary commodities and raw materials in the 1970s, economic activities have evolved to present-day trade in integrated circuits and petrochemicals. Malaysia and South Korea have also ventured into food and beverage sectors, creating opportunities for Korean companies in the halal industry and developing industrial partnership in strategic areas. Here, I take note of the remarks by Ambassador Yeo with regard to very substantive matters pertaining to defense. I have nothing to add, but just to sing and to commend that these are very substantive efforts, not just for discussion, but it appears they are ready even for some partial implementation and I congratulate the state of affairs there. However, the high-end upside potential remains to be further tapped. As Ambassador mentioned, I don't mind repeating it, green technologies, digital economy, AI, of course, cutting-edge semiconductors. Most anticipated is the resumption of the FTA negotiations that was referred to, that could encompass the sectors that I mentioned, in addition to green economy, supply chains, and of course the bioeconomy. However, FTAs have considerations beyond newer sectors, and therefore, at the risk of stating the obvious, concessions for tariff reductions are also necessary, considering that the existing ASEAN-Korea FTA has already set a very high standard of commitment. Maybe not the gold standard yet, but very high. I will also take cognizance of what Ambassador Yeo's remarks with regard to this matter, which are in fact the most encouraging. I believe we will be hearing more of this, perhaps in our second panel of the day, where we do anticipate a lively discussion on strengthening Malaysia-Korea relations through economic ties. I would call that through economic diplomacy. Ladies and gentlemen, while economic ties could strengthen bonds and cultivate prosperity, development of such ties would be precarious without regional stability. The year 2025 will see Malaysia assuming the ASEAN chair, wherein the baton or the baton of stewardship has already passed on October the 11th. All I can say is that ASEAN in the year 2025 is a developed political, economic, and social cultural union. It is also grappling with unprecedented regional tensions and consequential major powers having their rivalry on the rise rather than de-escalating. Dealing with the challenges include revitalizing ASEAN mechanisms such as the East Asia Summit, the ASEAN Regional Forum, which could be key vehicles to confidence-building measures, crisis mitigation, and regional stability. Furthermore, the ASEAN Regional Forum is one of the few platforms earning North Korea's regular participation for now. Nevertheless, while these regional tensions exact a toll on ASEAN's neutrality, ASEAN must therefore double down on efforts to engage beyond the immediate neighborhood. We stand in an interregnum where we bear witness to dynamic geopolitical changes, and it won't be the world order we will be seeing as it becomes accustomed to, neither bipolar nor unipolar, but one of multipolarity. It is one marked by the proliferation of minilaterals, as demonstrated by coercive tools that span from military to export controls, trade wars, and so on. Yet, crises such as the genocide in Gaza and other atrocities perpetrated with impunity in the name of democracy indicate that powers entrenched by flawed international systems remain untouchable. Thus, even in spaces such as innovation and technology advancement, the question is whether there are clear power distortions arising from uneven distribution of military might. And to this end, could ASEAN, with the assistance of dialogue partners, able to coax cooperative and competitive dynamics in ways that could advance sustainability, compassion, respect, innovation, prosperity, and trust? Now, these are perhaps the questions that the first panel of the day could grapple with, especially in view of the ASEAN-ROK relationship that was elevated to a comprehensive strategic partnership in October that was already stated by Ambassador Yeo. The elevated partnership will allow the region to navigate through incoming challenges. For example, maritime security, sustainability, digital transformation, and of course, human capital development. The success of Malaysia's ASEAN Chairmanship would hail from efforts and support of all stakeholders, whether it is the ASEAN member states or steadfast dialogue partners such as the Republic of Korea. ASEAN must be nimble to overcome great odds in navigating these tumultuous waters to bring prosperity for all the region. Distinguished guests, Friends, ladies and gentlemen, this program marks the 7th year since the Malaysia Scholars on Korea network was formed, and through the years, the platform has discussed various matters of bilateral and regional concern. This year, ISIS Malaysia is most pleased to renew our MOU partnership and convene the 2024 Master Network Public Seminar. ISIS Malaysia stands ready to strengthen relations with South Korea, especially in articulating questions and seeking solutions to the way forward. We look forward to the outcome of exchanges today and bid delegates as well as participants a fruitful, robust, and a wonderful discussion. Thank you.